almost ruined my life twice over feelings I couldn't explain. And looking back, I don't think I was the only one. A lot of us grew up carrying stuff we didn't have words for. Hurt, anger, confusion, feeling abandoned, feeling lost. And nobody really taught us what to do with any of it. So we reacted. After a while, anger became the only emotion we knew how to speak. And looking back, I think that's exactly what almost ruined my life. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Watching the whole Karmelo Anthony situation, hearing everybody debate about who's right, who's wrong, what should happen, and what shouldn't. And all I keep thinking is, man, how quick somebody can throw their whole life away with one single moment. Because when I was 15, I got charged with an attempted murder. And that was the only time I could have wrote it off as a mistake. But years later, I got booked again for another stabbing. And the older I get, the more I realize, by the time those moments happened, I had already had years of stuff built up inside of me. Hurt, anger, confusion, instability, learning things the hard way, trying to figure out life as I went. And I ain't really had words for any of it. Looking back, I realized me and most of the kids around me was all learning the same lessons. No fathers, no mentors, no blueprint. Everybody trying to figure it out on their own. So we learn from each other. And that's a dangerous place to be when nobody really know what they doing. Because now all the blind people teaching the blind people. We got our lessons from consequences. Nobody taught us how to explain what we felt. But we knew how to react. We knew how to fight. We knew how to get revenge. We knew how to prove a point. We knew how to make somebody pay. But saying, yo, that hurt me. Yo, I'm confused. Yo, I'm struggling. Yo, I don't know what I'm doing. We ain't really had language for that. And when you don't have language for what you're feeling, you end up expressing it in other ways. That's what took me a long time to realize. It wasn't that I was angry. Anger was just the emotion that made the most sense. It was the most familiar. Because underneath the anger was hurt, disappointment, confusion, insecurity, feeling lost. Trying to figure out life with no real guidance. But anger was easier. Anger felt stronger. Anger got respected. Anger made people back up. Anger made people listen. Because anger wasn't the whole story. It was just the only part I knew how to express. And once I started realizing that, I started looking at a lot of situations much different. Because most people aren't reacting to exactly what's in front of them. They're reacting to years of stuff they never dealt with. And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest differences between who I am now and who I was then. It ain't that I'm perfect. It ain't that I never get angry. It ain't that I got everything figured out. The difference is I could tell myself the truth. I could sit with it long enough to actually identify it. I can admit when I'm hurt, when I'm disappointed, when I'm frustrated, when I'm confused, when my ego got involved. And when you got a chance to put words to what you're feeling, you actually have an opportunity to respond to it. Before, all I knew how to do was react. When I look at those situations at 16 and 22, I don't just see bad decisions. I see a young man carrying a lot of things he didn't fully understand, trying to express them the only way he knew how. And that's why I think this conversation matters. Because every day, people throw away relationships, friendships, opportunities, sometimes even their whole future over feelings they don't fully understand. And if it's one thing I learned, is this. If you can't explain what you're feeling, you'll end up expressing it. And the way you end up expressing it might cost you more than you think. Man, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Drop aside the comments. You know, if you think we need to continue this conversation, what's your perspective on this conversation? I think it's something that we need to continue to have, especially as men. And let me know your perspective. Until next time, stay true.